Chapter 62 Kneel Down and Apologize. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, the whole place was dead silent, everyone was stunned. Can't believe my eyes, how can this be? Two soul saints faced off against one soul sect, and one of the soul saints was almost killed. Moreover, this soul sect is just a young man. This has refreshed their worldview. No one could believe what was happening. It's too scary. Who is this young man? No, he is not a human being, he is a monster, an evildoer. This is too strong. That the people around him talked one by one. Qian Yu, holding a spear, looked at Flanders in the sky and said, "If you still want to fight, I will kill him immediately and fight you. If you don't fight, then, it's very simple. Kneel down and say to me. Make an apology and I will let him go." As soon as these words came out, the people around him were instantly shocked, they couldn't believe what their ears were hearing. Make Flanders kneel down and apologize. You must know that Flanders is a soul saint, a soul saint. In this Soto city, he must be regarded as a person of status, but now, how could Flanders kneel down and apologize to Qian Yu? A soul saint knelt down to a small soul sect, no matter who it is, no one can do this. Flanders looked at Qian Yu who was pointing his spear at Zhao Wuji. He knew that if he didn't apologize, then Zhao Wuji would probably be killed by him. He quickly lowered his head and said, "Qian Yu, I'm sorry, we were reckless in this incident." Qian Yu looked at Flanders who was lowering his head and said coldly, "Did you not hear what I said clearly? I asked you to kneel down and apologize. Maybe you can let Zhao Wuji and your Shrek Academy bear my anger. If I want to destroy your Shrek Academy, it will be very simple." Qian Yu looked at Flanders and continued. At this point, Flanders' expression changed continuously. He was a little embarrassed, however, he saw that the tip of Qian Yu's spear was already placed on Flanders' neck. His face turned green and red for a while. Finally, he had no choice but to kneel down towards Qian Yu. Bang! Get down on your knees. At this moment, everyone was extremely shocked. Flanders, the dean of Shrek Academy, a soul saint, now he actually knelt down towards a soul sect. No one can believe this. Seeing Flanders kneeling on the ground, Qian Yu did not make things difficult for him. He just calmly took back his war gun and turned around to leave. Then he continued, "You can take him back, but if you dare to trouble me again, then next time, I'm afraid it won't be as simple as apologizing." Qian Yu said coldly. Flanders suddenly started to tremble. He quickly whispered, "Yes." Qian Yu turned around and was about to leave. At this time, Flanders said quickly, "Wait a minute." Qian Yu looked back at Flanders and asked coldly, "What else do you want to do?" Flanders quickly looked at Qian Yu and said, "Can you tell me, who are you? With your strength, even in the Spirit Hall, you must be considered the Holy Son of the Spirit Hall." Holy Son. Qian Yu smiled, looked at Flanders and said, "Whatever you think, but you just need to remember one thing, if you offend me, you offend the Spirit Hall." "Qian Yi, come out." Qian Yu said calmly. Suddenly, an old man in white appeared next to Qian Yu. The aura of the old man in white was released instantly. This aura is titled Douluo. Flanders looked at Qian Yu and the title Douluo in front of him in shock, feeling extremely shocked in his heart. Fortunately, he didn't break up with Qian Yu, otherwise, with the power of this title Douluo, he would have been able to destroy their Shrek Academy. No, even if he used this title Douluo to attack, with Qian Yu's power, Shrek Academy would not be able to survive. Moreover, this Qian Yu's surname is Qian. There is such a title Douluo guarding him. Flanders was extremely shocked. He seemed to understand that this Qian Yu is definitely a very important figure in Wuhuan Palace. Moreover, Qian Yu is so young, so his guess is correct. Qian Yu will definitely be the holy son of Wuhuan Palace. I didn't expect that there would be such a talented person in Wuhuan Hall. Maybe in a few years, this continent will all fall into the hands of Wuhuan Palace. Qian Yu calmed Flanders and said, "So, I advise you not to use any crooked ideas, otherwise, I can wipe out your Shrek Academy with one hand." At this time, Flanders immediately knelt down and lowered his head and said, "We know, from today on, we will never come to trouble you again. What happened today was our mistake, thanks for showing mercy." Qian Yu nodded and said calmly, "Qian Yi, let's go." After saying that, he turned around and left without looking back. Flanders stood there, feeling extremely shocked. he quickly took Zhao Wuji back to Notting College. Although Zhao Wuji was seriously injured, if treated in time, his hand should be able to be saved. Qianyu asked Qianyu to leave, then he returned to the hotel. At this time, Xiao Wu was still sleeping soundly. Qianyu glanced at the cute Xiao Wu, then lay on the bed, hugging Xiao Wu and fell asleep. The next day, Qianyu woke up, Xiao Wu stretched, then turned over and came to Qianyu's body, riding on Qianyu's body. Qianyu looked at the playful Xiao Wu and asked calmly, Xiao Wu, what are you doing? That Xiao Wu didn't say anything, she just kissed Qianyu on the mouth. Qianyu immediately understood what Xiao Wu meant. Qianyu looked at Xiao Wu's moving eyes, and the two of them fell in love again. After the two got up, came outside the door, ready to have some food. After spending so much at night, both of them were a little hungry. The two people walked out. At this time, they saw many officers and soldiers surrounding the entrance of the Rose Hotel. Officers and soldiers came here one by one and drove away all the idlers. Qianyu walked out with Xiao Wu. At this time, I saw a big fat man running over with a few people and came to Qianyu. He said very flatteringly, Master Qianyu, I am the Lord of Soto City. We know that Master Qianyu is visiting our Soto City, so I came here to greet you. That the big fat man said immediately. Qianyu calmly looked at the officers and soldiers around him and asked lightly, is this Master Qianyu? In order not to disturb Master Qianyu's rest, we sent people to drive away all the idle people. Master Qianyu, we have prepared wine and food at the city lord's mansion, and we would like to invite Master Qianyu to the city lord's mansion to enjoy it. Fatty city lord continued. Qianyu glanced at Xiao Wu, and Xiao Wu thought for a moment and said, are there a lot of delicious foods? Of course. The city lord said immediately. Xiao Wu immediately showed hopeful eyes. Looking at Xiao Wu's eyes, Qianyu said calmly, okay, let's go with you. End of this chapter. Chapter 69 Sword Douluo's Temptation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qianyu came to the back mountain. Qianyu also sensed the aura and followed Qianyu. However, Qianyu did not show his head, but was hidden in the darkness. Qianyu said calmly, Your Excellency, please come out now. At this time, a figure in green clothes came out. Yu Jian. The person who came was none other than Sword Douluo Chenxin. Chenxin walked over and looked at Qianyu and said lightly, Qianyu, let's meet again. Senior Jian. Qianyu nodded slightly. Sword Douluo seemed very excited when he saw Qianyu. Then, he looked at Qianyu and continued, I originally thought that my Rongrong went to Shrek Academy, but I didn't expect that Rongrong would be here with you. It seems that Rongrong escaped this time just for your sake. Sword Douluo looked at Qianyu and said. Qianyu smiled lightly and said, I didn't expect that she would come to me. Chenxin smiled and said, I feel relieved that Rongrong is here with you. If you teach Rongrong yourself, it will be much better than that bullshit Shrek, but please speak. Qianyu said calmly. Although I believe you, the Seven Treasures Glazed Tiles sect may not necessarily believe you, and Rongrong follows you, which is not justifiable, so if you want Rongrong to stay, you must open an academy. Sword Douluo rode. Qianyu smiled and said, actually, I also have this idea. Okay, in that case, I'll feel relieved. Ha ha ha. Chenxin laughed. By the way, Qianyu, can you let me see your martial spirit? Chenxin looked at Qianyu and asked. Qianyu naturally knew what kind of martial spirit Chenxin wanted to see in Qianyu. Qianyu suddenly surged with soul power and released his god-killing sword. Sword Douluo looked at Qianyu's god-killing sword and was extremely shocked. At this time, he felt that his seven-killing sword was trembling, as if he was afraid of this god-killing sword. The god-killing sword is the legendary martial spirit of the sword god. I didn't expect that after so many years, this god-killing sword would still be able to reappear in the world. Sword Douluo said quietly. Actually, I have always been curious about how powerful you are, Qianyu, can you compete with me? Sword Douluo looked at Qianyu. Sword Douluo was very interested in Qianyu, so he wanted to test how strong Qianyu was. Qianyu smiled and said, naturally. Okay, then let me test your strength. Don't worry, I'm sensible and won't hurt you. Sword Douluo said with a smile. Be careful. Sword Douluo said, reaching towards Qianyu with one hand, sword Douluo was very fast and arrived in front of Qianyu in an instant. His big hand immediately reached down towards Qianyu, and the powerful force went straight to the center of Qianyu's eyebrows. Qianyu was not surprised, as if he had expected it. Qianyu activated his wind movement technique and quickly distanced himself from sword Douluo. In an instant, Qianyu's speed changed to catch up with sword Douluo and dodge his attack. Douluo was shocked. The kid's speed actually caught up with him. As he spoke, he waved his hand, and suddenly, a sharp sword energy struck Qianyu. The billowing sword energy instantly fell in front of Qianyu. Qianyu dodged again, sword Douluo said as he shot another sword energy towards Qianyu. The attached soul bone behind Qianyu spread its wings and flew into the sky to avoid the attack. At this time, sword Douluo's sword energy continued to attack Qianyu, but Qianyu flew very fast in the sky. Sword Douluo couldn't attack him at all. Suddenly, Qianyu swooped down from the sky, aimed at sword Douluo, and killed him with the god-slaying sword in his hand. I saw this extremely powerful power erupting from Qianyu's hand, and a blue light burst out from Qianyu's hand. Boom, that a loud bang. Qianyu's sword hit sword Douluo's body. Sword Douluo underestimated the enemy and did not pay attention to Qianyu's attack. When he received Qianyu's sword, he realized that he was wrong. How wrong it was. This kid is simply outrageous. Sword Douluo felt mixed feelings. Under Qianyu's sword, he flew out instantly and hit the tree hard. Bang. Sword Douluo hit several of the trees. He looked at Qianyu and said, I underestimated you. I didn't expect you to be so strong. Then, how about this sword? Douluo said, and saw the 9 soul rings on his body suddenly exposed. Then, one of his black soul rings lit up. The soul skill of a 10,000-year soul ring was released immediately. A huge sword shadow was formed and instantly killed Qianyu. Qianyu held the god-killing sword in his hand, and then slashed out at the sword shadow released by sword Douluo. Suddenly, an extremely huge sword light formed from Qianyu's side. The sword light emitted a blue light, and instantly attacked Douluo. Suddenly, the 2 sword shadows merged together. Boom, that a loud bang. In the entire forest, endless rays of light erupted. Suddenly, a dazzling light erupted in the forest. Rolling power swept out. I saw endless power sweeping out, and trees were chopped off one by one. The entire forest, the trees with a radius of several hundred meters, all collapsed, leaving only tree stumps. After a long time, the whole forest calmed down. I saw the glare slowly dissipating. How Douluo finally saw the development of the battle situation. At this time, Qianyu was seen holding a divine sword with calm eyes. As for sword Douluo Chenxin, the 7 kills sword in his hand was dimly lit, and it could be vaguely seen that his hand was trembling. Moreover, he saw that the hand holding the 7 killing sword was dripping blood continuously. From this, it can be seen that whoever wins this competition. I lost, Chenxin said. Although Chenxin didn't exert all his strength, he still had his soul ring unopened. However, Qianyu could suppress him with his current strength, which meant that he lost. He looked at Qianyu and was extremely shocked. Such a child, how could there be such a powerful child? He is only 12 years old, and he can compete with title Douluo. So, when he is 17 or 18 years old, how strong will he be? I'm afraid that in this world, no one is his opponent anymore. Qianyu smiled lightly and said, I accept it. Sword Douluo immediately said, Qianyu, you are very powerful. With your strength, I am afraid you can revive the Sword God Pavilion. Sword God Pavilion. Qianyu hadn't heard of this name for a long time. Back then, he founded the Sword God Pavilion. At that time, the Sword God Pavilion, like the current Wuhuan Palace, was also the only force in the mainland, but now it has disappeared and no one remembers it. He didn't expect that Chenxin still vaguely remembered the Sword God Pavilion. Do you know about Sword God Pavilion? Qianyu looked at Chenxin and asked. Chenxin nodded and said, back then, my ancestor was a disciple of the Sword God of the Sword God Pavilion. As soon as he said this, Qianyu remembered that after he founded the Sword God Pavilion, he accepted several disciples. Among them, the eldest disciple Tian. His martial spirit is the 7 killing sword. End of this chapter.